Hi crypto fans, welcome to CCS Cryptocurrency State. My name is Santiago, I'm a web developer and investor, and in today's video we are going to cover the Solend issue. Solend is a decentralized protocol in Solana blockchain for borrowing and lending, and there has been a big issue during the weekend that was fixed yesterday, but this was really bad for Solana because the SOL token was in danger for a capitulation liquidation in the protocol that may send SOL token into $0. So we are going to cover that news. We are going to explain a little bit about what was that, how it caused it, and what you will be thinking in terms of SOL token right now. I am going to do a very good technical analysis about SOL token against USDT and against Bitcoin, and I will show you a couple of candlestick patterns that I think we could be starting to see in SOL chart right now. So we are going to cover everything about Solana right now. Before we begin, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell to get the notifications, and without anything else, let's go into it. So this is the chart of SOL token, the token native from Solana blockchain, right now at $34. And you can see that we hit perfectly my targets. I have this rectangle since we hit all these bottoms here in 2021 in July. And you can see how we come back and enter actually a little bit inside this rectangle. This is at 26, 25 and a little more where I had my buy orders for SOL tokens. So that already entered it, so I am in possession of some SOL tokens that I planned to buy in this bear market. But the news of Solend platform protocol during the last days was really important, and I will comment on that. But the thing here in the chart is if I zoom a little bit here, you can see that we have 10 red candles in a row. This is weekly chart. So you can see that this was 2.5 months of bleeding in SOL token and ecosystem. So after 10 red candles, we hit last Sunday our first weekly green candle. And this candle you can see has a very long wick. And if this is in a green candle, you can see that here we have a lot of buy pressure to the upside. So this candle closed it here at 30, and from here we were 1 week going up and down here, but the buy pressure makes us close it at 34 the last Sunday. So you can see that this was actually a 30% from the bottom of that candle to the point that closed it, which is a lot of buy pressure, and also corresponds with this support area of these candles in 2021 when we hit the bottom here. So for me, the next candle is very important, but this one, like I mentioned, you have a big wick here, a little wick up, and this is similar of what we call a morning star. A morning star candlestick pattern, you will find it at the lowest part of a downtrend. So you can see here we have a downtrend. And then we have a candle here that in this case has a small body and long wicks to the upside and to the downside. So in this case it's different because you have sell pressure and buying pressure generating a small body. And after that, the day 3 candle is actually a bigger green candle, and that will confirm the reverse trend here. Also for the morning start, you need some gaps up and down here. That is something that we don't have here. You can see how this red candle closes here and our body is here. We don't have any gap there. But the bottom candle here could be very different. It's not like an exact thing. We could find similar candlestick on the downside. And actually this one could be bearish also or bullish. In our case it's bullish too. And we don't have the gap down and gap up that you can see here. But anyways, our candlestick is looking very similar at the morning star. You can see downtrend, a green candle down here with a little wick. We don't have the gaps that we need here. And this pattern is called the 3 river morning star. 3 river because we have 3 big down candles before the morning star. And in the third day, you need a long green candle in order to confirm. In this case, the confirmation is after the third candle, but for the nature of the market, I think if this weekly candle closes up 46, we could be seeing a reversal candle here, a reversal pattern. But for me, these candles are looking very similar of what we could be seeing on these candlestick patterns that I am showing you. And finally here you can see we come from the downtrend, we have a bearish candle here, a gap is needed for say that this is a morning start, so that is something that we don't have. Then this candle could be a small bullish or bearish candle, but should be small, but I think it's still valid. Then you have the gap here and then a bullish candle. So in our case it's similar to this pattern, but I would say that it's more similar to this one without the gaps. But anyways, the important thing here is to see the next week. If we close this week in red, then this pattern is obsolete. But if we have some recovery here above $40 and have some big body here on this green candle that we are just created yesterday, started to create last Sunday, then I think we could see a reverse pattern here. And this is happening only in Solana, because if you check the price action of Bitcoin, we are continuing with a red candle last time. So sometimes the altcoins can follow and guide a little bit. Happened with Ethereum last bear market, where the altcoins recover a little bit before Bitcoin starts to pump up, which is different when you are in the downtrend. So I think this Solana chart is something to look at. And if you see Solana against Bitcoin, you can see that that week with the recovery of Solana and Bitcoin was continuing down, Solana performing very nice against Bitcoin. Of course, this is very difficult to trade, but if you change your Bitcoin to SOL tokens, that it will mean a 62% in 1 week. So this is more difficult to trade, but also in this chart you can see these tops now are support. This is Solana against Bitcoin. So I think these charts are very interesting for Solana right now, and you should wait a little bit for this candle in order to confirm a reverse trend here. And in the news, Solend users vote for forced takeover ends well liquidation crisis. So with all the crypto market downturn is causing ripples through the industry, causing many DeFi protocols to take drastic measures to protect liquidity. The Solana blockchain-based lending application Solend underwent a similar situation over the weekend when token holders voted for a forced takeover of the protocol's largest account. As described by Solend users, this large whale account had gotten dangerously close to a catastrophic on-chain liquidation. As a result of the emergency takeover due to the unprecedented governance vote, Solend Labs would have been able to liquidate around 20 million of the whale's vulnerable assets via over-the-counter trades, OTC. So instead to liquidate all that into the market, they did it on the OTC, so that is why the market was not affected. This step was taken to avoid the chaos in Solana's DeFi markets that could erupt from the on-chain liquidation of these many assets. Going the OTC service route could avoid this outcome. However, it also violates the smart contract coded protocol that Solend follows for borrower liquidation. Therefore, it has caused the platform to revisit the values for another vote on the matter. The proponents of the takeover believe that the whale is not a typical user, as the account had parked 5.7 million SOL tokens onto Solend, which accounts for over the 95% of the pool's deposit. Against that, it had borrowed 108 million in stablecoins, far more than anyone else. If SOL hits its liquidation price of $22.3, the whale will be liable for around $20 million. SOL is currently trading at 32. So this was all the situation, and they created a DAO proposal to change that. So they basically corrupt the decentralization of the protocol and platform just to prevent a collapse on that liquidation that was really almost to happen. We don't know if this whale actually this was planned, but all this catastrophe that was prevented here was actually really dangerous not only for Solend but also for Solana itself, because that will be starting to trigger sell orders and liquidations for all other traders that are trading futures and stuff around the Solana ecosystem. So the price of Sol, it will go really low if that happens. So even if they broke up the decentralization of the platform, which also opens up some discussions, and like you know, Solana has been reseated a couple of times, the whole blockchain, and in a decentralized system that is like very difficult to happen. All the Solana ecosystem now is in the loop of decentralization versus centralization. So this is a topic to continue seeing. I already entered, like mentioned, positions in Solana in stop positions, but I don't plan to add anything else. I am a little skeptic with Solana ecosystem right now because of that. The Ripple CTO also commented on this, but was a positive comment saying that even if that was like an orchestration for move the wealth liquidation in 1 day with a proposal of 1 day, this means that still is a democratic system. So I'm not so convinced of that. I think there was manipulation, but at least they were able to solve or contain a little bit this situation. And Solend, if you see here, the total value lock of Solana is 2.5 billions, and Solend is the first one with more TVL with 266 million here. So it's a primary application of the TVL of Solana. So this was really big, and you can go to Solend.fi and see how works the project. But seems that the danger is over, but I will be careful still with Sol tokens. I will be following that in order to put some short positions if that catastrophe happens. I don't want to happen the same with Terra LUNA, but if Sol goes to zero, I want to short that trade. Well guys, that is all for this video, a Solana review and the Solend issue that we experienced. I recommend you, if you have SOL tokens, be very aware of all this situation and how it continues. I will be posting in Twitter at CryptoCState in Twitter in order to be up to date with all this news. That will be all, and remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell to get the notifications, and I will see you tomorrow with a new video. Bye.